I'm gonna try to mimic this photo style, this color grade, the tones. I'm gonna try to do this solely just using Lightroom, no Photoshop. All right, so let's jump over to Lightroom. And I'm just gonna use an old photo that I have here that I took on a brown backdrop. I figured this would work better. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna raise my exposure. It's a little bit underexposed. I'm gonna raise my shadows up a little bit. I think I may want to warm this up somewhere in there. And I'm gonna take some of the color out. We're gonna desaturate it just a little bit. Maybe like -12. All right. I'm gonna add a curves adjustment here. Just to give it some contrast. Bring those highlights out. All right. Bring the shadows up a little bit more. All right, so the next thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna come down here to my hue, saturation, and luminance sliders. I'm gonna take the green all the way down because I don't want any greens really. I'm gonna take the purples all the way down, the magentas. All right. I'm gonna come all the way down to my, well, first of all, I'm gonna enable profile corrections. All right. And I'm gonna come all the way down here to calibration. For my shadows, I'm gonna move it over into the magenta side. Just a little bit, maybe like +10. Okay, the next thing I'm gonna do is go to my split toning. A lot of people don't know about the split toning. The split toning is a powerful tool actually in Lightroom. It gives you the ability to move a certain color in your highlights, and you can move another color into your shadows. You can kind of blend them together, but you can get some nice color grading and tones with that, with just this one panel, the split toning panel. So if you're not used to it, like play around with it, man. I guarantee you'll like it. But this is what we're gonna use for this effect. Hopefully this is gonna be all that we need. Like I said, I'm trying to do all this in Lightroom, no Photoshop. All right. Okay. All right, we're in the split toning panel. So the first thing I'm gonna do is, if you go back to the photo here, there's a lot of reds. Like these pictures are very like monochromatic, right? There's not a lot of colors. It's just red, like red and yellow, warm colors, yellow, orange, red. So I'm gonna, where it says shadows right here, I'm gonna move that. I'm gonna pick a red color, kind of like that. I know it looks crazy now, but we're gonna fix that. All right, so my highlights, if you go back here, you can see like there's a lot of yellow in the highlights. So we got reds in the shadows and yellow in the highlights. So for the highlights right here, I'm just gonna pick a yellow Matter of fact, they already have one right here, so I'm gonna just pick this one, the one that's already here at the top right here. I'm just gonna select that one. All right. So I'm gonna bring the saturation down a little bit. Maybe like 36. And for the yellow, I'm gonna bring that down to maybe 35, maybe. I think that looks good. All right. I'm gonna make my shadows a little bit darker here on my curves. And I'm gonna bring out my highlights some more. I'm gonna drag my white slider over to the right. Like that. Say maybe like 28. I think that's pretty good right there. I want to do one more thing. See, I mean, that's pretty much it. If you go back here, I mean, we could probably take a little bit more color out, just kind of desaturate it just a little bit. So I'm gonna drag my saturation slider over to like maybe like -18. Yeah, I think that'll work. So I'm gonna go back to my tone curve, and then I'm gonna go to the blue channel, because what I wanna do is I wanna take some of the blues out and add more yellow. So I'm just on my blue channel right here, I'm gonna bring it down to introduce more yellow into the photo. So if you go all the way down, you see that that's too much. You just wanna do it just a little bit right here. Yeah. Hey, I think that looks good. That's it. I think that looks pretty good. Let's go back. Yeah. I mean, you can even fade it. You know, you can give it a faded look if you want to. The way I would do that, let's go back to my curves. Uh-oh. Go back. I can just lift the shadows up to give it a faded look, like that. And we're good to go, baby. You got your Tyler Perry Sistas look right there. All done in Lightroom, no Photoshop. Like I said, Lightroom has a lot of tools that you can use for your, your toning and your color grading and stuff like that. So we pretty much only use our curves, and we use the split toning panel right here. And I also use the calibration panel at the very bottom. So yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed the tutorial. If you like it, please share this video, like the video,